Mr. Weinberg, thank you very much for your time. In your mind, what is most to worry about when it comes to the internet and perhaps the lack of regulation?
Well, of course, the internet is becoming the dominant platform where we receive our information, and there are a number of serious threats to freedom of expression on the internet. Hate speech, propaganda for war, fake news amongst them, but also, of course, the massive commercialization of the space and the fact that so many of us depend on commercial platforms like Facebook and Google that play a massive part in deciding what information we receive.
Yesterday, the IEC here talking on this very issue, and in your view, what should the voters, as we head to the 8th of May, be most worried about? I don't know whether you're going to think fake news, or is it hate speech that perhaps we need to worry about? The IEC itself seems to be worried more about content that seeks to influence the outcome of the election. I think that for me would also be quite interesting to look into. How does this happen?
Yeah, well, the trend around the world is towards targeted advertising aimed at shaping the outcome of the election. So I think we know that the ANC, for example, has got a very big budget for online advertising. Facebook makes a lot of money out of targeted advertising. So I think the South African public have to be very critical in an election period. When they consume their media, you have to wonder about the Facebook algorithm and what stories are getting onto your news feed and why. There's obviously the risk of misinformation, fake news, and fake news being paid for and promoted by political interests.
It's interesting that we also touch on hateful or violent content when it comes to the internet. The issue of Christchurch, the terrible incident that happened there just this past month, Mr. Weinberg, the Facebook came under huge attack for allowing that content to stay on its platforms for longer. In your view, is there a way to effectively police this?
It's very, very challenging. Most democracies in the world have laws that address hate speech and propaganda for war. But beyond that, what constitutes offensive speech or harmful speech differs very much from country to country in terms of law, and of course from locality in terms of what is culturally acceptable. So it's very difficult and in fact very troubling when big corporations and governments start to talk about efforts to regulate the internet and to protect adults from harmful content.
All right. Thank you very much for your views there. That's Mark Weinberg, and he is from the Right to Know campaign, talking to us about the challenges around internet regulations.